All right, welcome back. We are listening to some vanilla Origin. Super cool. And this is going to be a pretty quick one. We are going to go and take our data that we are currently persisting in memory. See, yarn dev starts our dev mode. These items that we are persisting in memory. And we are going to go ahead and save those in a database because servers will inevitably restart, and saving stuff like this in memory as we are is cool, but it's not really the right way to do this. So we're going to go ahead and use Mongo because what we're saving here is basically blogs, right? So that lends itself very well to documents. We're not going to be doing a lot of like relational stuff, looking up different datas across the tables and comparing them. So documents it is, plus everybody likes document-based storage right now. So let's do it. So again, we're going to use Mongo, and we can see here that we have that going, which Mongoose, it is there. Hey, and here it is. So this shows me that Mongo is installed. Mongo is running as a daemon, and I can connect to it. So basically, I have a database set up here locally. Bouncing around systems, I forget which is which. So what the hell? We'll try help. Help. There we go. Show DBs. Forget me not, irate local portfolio. Okay. So I believe the way this works, we can go ahead and start by, I don't even remember how to create a database. Tell you what, we're going to be using Mongoose to connect our JavaScript to Mongo. So that's essentially, it's just a driver that allows us to connect the two systems. So let's start there because their documentation is really good. Mongoose. And let's throw a JS in there. ODM. Read the docs, maybe later. So here you go. Check it out. This is a very fast way to do it, right? I think I have a client for this. What is I don't remember. Mongo client. Robo, is that? No, that's a service. Oh, no shit, it is. Okay. Robo 3T. Hey, look at this. I got some stuff here. This will be cool. So we can, this shows our port and everything. So it is faster to manipulate a lot of this stuff with scripts. But when you're kind of exploring and don't really know what you're doing, you can get bogged down in the syntax and like what scripts to run and all that. And so I like to use a GUI when I don't really know what the hell I'm doing because it helps me explore faster. So let's try that here. So these are my different databases. Let's see, we're going to create one, and this one is for the we're going to use underscores here, stoic-dev with Postgres, the dashes and database names, and I mean just different elements like columns. You end up having to double quote them, and it just makes it a real pain in the ass. So I'm not sure if this is the same, but for good measure, let's try it. Pardon me while I sneeze. Excuse me. I need a cough button or sneeze button, right? So let's look here. Sorry, all the neighbors are walking around, so I'm real distracted. So let's quit this thing. How do I quit? I don't remember. Control D works. So we have Mongoose here. Let's go ahead and install this. I think they have, there we go, quick start guide. So we're going to install it, right? So here we go, yarn, add Mongoose. That is done. So now, I have two open here. The very quick version. Now I'm not going to go over reading all this stuff with you. In these videos, I'm going to refer to documents or docs and kind of get refreshers and, oh yeah, that. But generally, I do take a lot of time to read through this stuff. If I weren't on the spot and, you know, having a pretend person, you sitting there watching me do this, I would read through all of this. And inevitably, I would get stuck in some weird corner of the documentation and, you know, I don't know. So there's, you don't need to absorb the entire dictionary in order to be able to speak, you know, but it is useful to have a good knowledge. So in this case, I'm gonna just skip right through a lot of this stuff to get it going. I can kind of explain it as we go. So this is grabbing the library. This is connecting to the database. Pretty easy stuff. Let's go ahead and do that and clean up some of their man, the computer's like on fire. And clean up some of their var nonsense, right? So I don't know, is this I believe is the host and the database, pretty sure. So we said this one is going to be the irate dev. We start that, this restarts, curl URL string parser. Well, it's there. It's going to be removed, use the new parser option to connect. Yeah, what the hell, man? I'm not even sure what that means, but if we have an option to adopt the new feature, we may as well. Let's try now. Hamel promise reason. Port must be specified. Okay, already I'm way off. We're going to keep this as it is for right now. We'll make a note to come back in and address this deprecation here. Alright. Anyway, so another thing I'll point out is there are endless distractions, and I think that it's important to be curious and to look under these rocks and kind of look in the docs and look around and be curious about this stuff, but you have to limit it because there's an infinite amount of stuff that you don't know, so you have to be curious but also be pragmatic and know when it's time to just gloss over and when it's okay not to understand every aspect of something. You'll sort of develop a sense for when it's important for you to really learn something versus, that's right, you know, I can drive without really understanding how a carburetor works. If I am ever tasked with going and rebuilding a carburetor, I'm really going to need to know that. But until then, it's just a piece of the puzzle, and it's fine with me not knowing that. So it's a practical tip. So let's see, so we install this, we connect, and we're going to get a connection. Oh, this is an alias for the connection, I guess. Oh, that is the connection. When there's an error, once it's open, do this. Now this is stuff that we should probably set up a little bit differently eventually, because this is stuff that would be used by various routes. And right now we're just saying, hey, everything's in this one main route here. Just anticipating that eventually we're not going to want to do it like that. But we're not going to get crazy right there. Let's just log to make sure we're actually connected here. Console log. DB connection is open. I just realized something I totally glossed over. Yay! So it's working. Is how to set up Mongoose and how to set up all of that is already running on my computer. I believe you can do it through Brew, and if you can, do it that way. I'm going to skip over that though, because that's one of those things that it tends to be annoying. But once it's up and running, you don't worry about it. I think I set that up probably 2 or 3 years ago. I haven't had to look at it since, so good luck. Once you get it though, you know, it's like a rite of passage. So let me just reiterate here that we've got some stuff set up here. You know, we're asynchronously setting up error. We're handling. Let me start over. We're setting up listeners. So once we get an error message, we're gonna log it, right? And once the database is open, or the connection is open, then we're gonna say, hey, we're ready. So this is a little weird because we've defined these routes and everything, so it's really unlikely, but I just want to point out that there's something bad here. The rest of the app could be set up, and then say there's a delay, and I don't know why this would ever happen, but technically the server could be up, ready to handle requests. We could get a request, try to deal with it, but we haven't actually gotten to this block yet because the database connection is pending for some reason. So just be aware that this is kind of poopy. Again, we're growing, so we'll get to that point eventually. So now that this is open, oh god, there is some overhead in this stuff. For expediency, I'm going to jam all this right in here. So we got to create a schema, which is basically, this is the structure of the data I want to save. That allows us to, or allows Mongoose, which is this bad boy, to play middleman for the data that's coming in through it, and it can add you know, validation, automatically add fields, compute stuff, that sort of stuff, knowing that, oh, this plain object is going to be fit into this schema, right? There's the model, which is honestly, what is the difference between the schema and the model? Oh, the schema is compiled into a model. I don't know, they kind of sound similar. I guess that I don't know why we would need the distinction, but I guess it's a good separation because this is a definition about like what this object, what its form is, and the model uses that schema as a part of it, but then the model is what actually, I guess we'll do the other interactions. So whatever the distinction is. And this shows us how we can make a new one, and then how we're going to skip over that part, and then how we can save them, right? I think it's cute that they did cats here because it keeps it fun, and it also makes it very easy to plop this stuff in your code and realize where you're using copied and pasted crap versus real stuff. So we will eventually be splitting out our schema and our model and have a better separation of everything. But for now, let's just throw all of our crap right in here. So we're gonna keep the kittens because that's funny. So we got a kitty schema. We have a kitten model. I already take issue with these. If it's a kitten, if it's a kitty schema, it should be a kitty model. And this is how we are going to make a new instance, just the new operator. And then that's how we make different one, da 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 da, and this is how we will save a kitten. Now, uh-oh, it's already not happy, huh? It's all right. Oh, you know why it's not happy? Because check it out, we're already trying to save this bad boy, but there's no connection. I bet that's what it tells us. Oh, no, Fluffy's not defined. Okay, well, we saved this. Silence is the name of this kitten. And now it should tell us. It doesn't work because the connection's not open. Fluffy, speak. What? Oh, God, it's got all this other crap in here. Okay. Hey, it did work. Huh, I guess maybe it stacked it up there. I don't know how it worked saving it before it was ready, but I bet if we go over here and look in our collections. Hello. How do we refresh? Robo. Connect to this guy. Oh my goodness, we've already got kittens. Check it out. We already saved it 3 times, huh? So, let's explore this real quick. We'll notice here that we provided a name. Okay, so we've got a schema which says, hey, I'm going to be getting stuff. It's going to have a name, which is a string. Very cool. Here is our model. We're saying, hey, our model uses this schema, nifty. And here's an instance of the kitten, this model. And we're saying, here's its name. You know, all this stuff is connected. Then we save it. We can see here that we've got this magical underscore ID. That's a Mongo thing that just happens. That's sort of the convention. You can change that to be a different value. I don't know if that's in the model or the schema or where that. It's probably the model. We can change that, but it's just fine right now. So let's now what we've established so far is that we can connect to a database and save some stuff, right? So this is cool. Let's we've done enough work already. Let's get status, get add package JSON. Whoops. So let's just add all of this and say we'll commit it, save to MongoDB. Dummies. Records. I don't know. I guess records is a bad idea. So let's push this up. And now, okay, check it out. We're saving something. It's garbage. It's hard coded. It's not what we want. So what about this? What if we alter this stuff a little bit and say, okay, this is the part that's actually saving, right? So how about this? Every time this is our block that's we're posting to, right, in here. Hey, we're posting stuff. So what if we put in here and say, just as sort of a proof of concept, okay, whenever we post something here, we are going to save. Of course, we're saving another kitten named Silence. Whatever. Let's deal with it. Now, you'll notice this error handler in here. We're just being real cool and ignoring all the error handling. How sweet is that, right? So you can see why we took the time to add NodeMon now, because we're gonna just be making stuff faster and faster. So let's post some stuff. It posted something. We go back and look here. Okay, well, I should have done this before. We've got 4 of these. Let's post something. We refresh, and we've got 5. Holy moly, we are saving here. Now, it's really confusing because we're calling it kittens, right? Why don't we change this? Instead of a kitty schema, this is our... Hell, I don't know that we actually figured out what we're going to be very generic, and we're going to call it our item schema. And instead of a name, it's going to have, what is it that we're sending? We are sending content. Oh my God, my naming is great. Content of our item. Now that's very descriptive. So of course this isn't going to work. We haven't set up our linter yet, but so item schema is what we rename this. Kitty schema doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to change that to item schema. Just baby step our way through this bad boy. So I'm a big TDD guy. So typically this isn't how I do stuff. I'd be writing failing tests and all that sort of stuff, right? But right now, early days, sometimes it's easier just to kind of explore a little bit and get some wobbly legs underneath you, and then roll in the TDD. That's what we're doing right now. But because I still like to see things fail and then fix them, we're gonna start right here and let's post this. Ooh, did it work? How did that work? Oh, that did still work. Because despite this stuff up here, how the hell did that work? Oh, okay, check it out. So it didn't fail. We have a new object. I gotta drop this stuff. Yeah, delete them. Do that again. So I'm gonna post this. Yeah, that worked. Refresh. We got a new object. It's got an ID, but it has no content. It has no name. What the hell is this? So here we've got a new kitten. Okay, weird name. We're giving it the name silence and then saving it. Now it is saving, but it throws this away because this is just junk. See, that's not part of the schema. The schema says, yes, I accept a content string. Name, I don't know what that is. You can change this to a, banana, and that doesn't matter. Still not getting through there. Doesn't matter. Now we saw this earlier with some examples. I think it was the last video where we demonstrated that you could just, from a client, you could throw whatever you wanted and we would just save it. Now we don't. And this is one of the benefits of using something like Mongoose. It handles this stuff really well. And although it seems like overkill when you're just trying to get something to save, like, why the hell do I need a schema? This is why. People don't just make these conventions because they think it's cool to slow you down. This little bit of effort up front is going to make things way better later. And this is an example of that. Now we can only save content. So check it out. What if we change this to content? All right, so there we go. Do that. This third guy, oh my goodness, we've got some content and it's silence, right? If this stuff's private, I should close it. Okay, now that's closer to what we want. Let's address this real quick. I'm learning to slow down with this stuff, and after reviewing some of my own stuff, including a talk I did, I know I'm in my head a lot, and it's not super clear what's going on. It's part of this whole endeavor. So if you are out there, I do appreciate you watching, and I hope this is useful. But even if you're not, and I have 0 views forever, this is a good opportunity for me to learn to be more explicit and to slow down when I'm talking about this stuff. So we are saving the content here, and that's cool, but it is a hard-coded value of silence, which is weird. So what we're posting here, we're posting content, right? Oh, it looks like we're actually still posting oh no as well, but we're just disregarding that. So what we're gonna do is we could add this and say, hey, body.content is what I want to save. So let's try that. Save it. Go look at this bad boy. Content. Yay, that's cool. Now every time we change this, we're gonna have to go through kind of mapping them. And I think the way this is designed is it's wide open. It takes a whole object, right? So it's just like throw whatever you want in there, and the schema will take care of weeding out the junk, right? Because we're passing content and we're passing oh no, and so we're going through the process of mapping this stuff. So instead of all of this, like explicitly calling out the different pieces and attaching them, what if we change inner parentheses to body? And so now we could pass the whole body in there, and it will just accept what it wants. So to demonstrate, we could say, what's that? Oh no. Oh no is a Boolean. Whoops. A Boolean. And color equals a string. Of course, we'll need to save this. And now, without going in here and remapping anything, we're just saying, hey, send whatever you want. All right, content works, Boolean works, you know. Oh, hey, did you hear the API now accepts color? So we'll do color pink for my daughter. There you go. Oh crap, actually, that was silly. We don't need any of that stuff. Let's just kill it. And now again, we're not going back into the route part of this where the raw data is passed in. We're just altering the schema, and we don't have to, and everything's kind of taken care of. So this is really cool. So we're getting closer. Now, like I said, part of the Mongoose stuff, the docs are really funny, and they make it very friendly. A somewhat tricky process initially. They make it very friendly because they're talking about kittens. And as a fun side effect, it's really easy to see when you forgot to change something because, oh yeah, we got kittens all over now. So let's go ahead and change this kitten to something that's not so blatantly copied. And I am going to call it item, whoops. I am going to call it my item model. Right, there you go. I guess I could just call it item, but that would be one of the most generic things I could think of outside of data. So I'm gonna call it the item model. So try that. Verify, just a little sanity check. Did that work? Wait, did it work? Guess we gotta post something. Oh, what's happening? Am I posting? Am I refreshing? What happened? Okay, this is why I take baby steps, man, because who knows what's going on. It's way better to catch things early rather than doing 17 different steps and then saying, hey, something's not working. Check it out. Oh, here are my item models. So it's like they just wanted to make me look like an idiot. So kittens make sense. Item models. A model is a representation of the object, not the object itself. So where did this name come from? I'm guessing it's the string up here. I believe, because this here is this and this. That's just my reference to it, right? This string, I remember Mongoose does some sort of, the string is very important, right? So it's, when we say Mongoose model this is an important name to the Mongoose instance. I'm not sure why they chose a string. Anyway, so when we save this thing, it is an instance of item, and I guess item, the string that we give it is going to dictate where the collection is saved, or sorry, the name of the collection rather. And in Mongo, and I think all NoSQL databases. You have a database, but the collection doesn't exist until you save something. So anyway, is that just me saying a bunch of stuff to distract from me looking stupid? Let's find out. Now let's refresh. I refreshed you. Did I? I need to learn how to use my tools, man. I even forgot this thing even existed. So we saved it. dev collections. Oh my goodness. So there it is. So we changed this to item, and the items collection appeared. Now let's kill this guy. Drop that collection. Yes. And the kittens, that was fun, but let's go ahead and get rid of that one too. So now let's look at it from blah, blah, blah. So we're passing all this crap to it, and it looks like it's just cleaning stuff out for us. So let's clean this up a little bit. Our content will be, save me to the DB, please. Oh my goodness, it's happening. So this is looking way better. Our names make more sense. You know, for good measure. You know, we're not using this anymore, are we? Oh, we are. We're still getting it. Okay. So, baby steps, right? So let's save this. No, we're not done. We have one more thing. What we're returning here is a status, and then like sort of a fake version of the item. This isn't the full item. The item actually has the ID, their underscore ID, right? So see, we say, hey, silence. Oh, another catch. Silence. So stupid. Call out the item. Names are important, right? We're not using that anymore. So we say, hey, we pull out the content from the body. We make a new item. We try to save it. We try to save it. And then if there's an error, we show that. And if there was no error, we say success, and we return the item body. While we're thinking about it, the error. Who knows? That might be one of those to-dos that sits there forever. Anyway, so when we get to this point, Fluffy, our new guy, this is the actual object, right? And we can demonstrate this real quickly. Console log, Fluffy, Fluffly. Fluffy, like that. So clear that out, post something new. It says, hey, here I am. Here's my ID, here's my content, and this V, I don't know if that's gonna get to us. I don't remember what that is. I'm sure that's a versioning thing. I'm sorry, I have to sneeze again. Hold tight, let me pause. Okay, sneezing is done. Pausing is also done. That's a version. I don't remember what the hell that's for. We're gonna leave it. I don't know if that's something that we should hide from the client or what, but let's just leave it there for now. It might not even get through. It will. Anyway, so instead of responding here with the body, we're gonna respond with Fluffy. So now, because when a client sends you something, it's sort of like, hey, I want to save this. It's not fully formed, but here's the idea of what I want. The server will hand it to the database and save it. Then the server will give it back and say, all right, I saved it, and sort of here's your receipt almost. It was successful, and here's the full object with the ID, which is often very useful. Of course, the client won't have the ID prior to that, so it's important to give it back. So now we save, it logs this. and status success, and here's everything. Very cool. We can get rid of this right now. And I just don't feel good calling this fluffy, so I'm gonna let's see. I want it to be returned as item, I think. So what I'm gonna do, let's delete this fluffy. I'm gonna change you to item. I just pointed at the screen. This item is masking this and this, or shadowing, I guess, which is kind of faux pas. It just leads to confusion because now we have two different items, like in different scopes, and it's kind of poor form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this, I don't know, new item. That might be a terrible name too, but I'm trying to keep things on track with simplicity for now. Let's check it out. So anyway, it still works. Now let's go ahead and save our progress. I'm going to say save, return, posted items. These are terrible names. I'm coding on this isn't a Git tutorial yet. We'll do those later. Maybe as we progress together, we can start using Git flow and better Git standards. So we're saving stuff. Cool. And check it out. When we stop the server and restart, I mean, they're unrelated, right? Obviously, these are still here. So we've got this kind of on lockdown. Now the other part, saving stuff to a database is great, but unless your client is sitting here looking at this, how do we get it back? Oh my goodness, it's the next part, right? So here in our get, we are going to return. I don't know why my nose is running. I'm sorry. This is so like inappropriate. So here, we're gonna do kittens find blah, right? Only obviously we're not dealing with kittens. Let's basically gonna have the same error. We're gonna make the error handling consistent later, so I'm just gonna copy that part. Also, I detest leaving out an if clause without, or an if clause statement with the optional braces around the next statement removed. I detest them. So I must destroy them at all means, by any means. Anyway, so here, same sort of deal. We're gonna find this stuff. If we get an error, so sad. If we don't get an error, then that means we got a bunch of kittens here and we can return them. But kittens is a silly name. So let's change that to items. And now this is not gonna work, right? So, but if we save it, it looks like it's gonna work, right? Nothing wrong syntactically. But then we test, and what's it doing? What's it even saying? Oh, this is the post. We know the post works. Let's go to our get. Oh my god, it's disastrous. It's pretty ugly. So again, this is why we go baby steps. If you're ever like just coding away for a long time without executing it, like you're really setting yourself up for some pain. Maybe you're just perfect. I don't know. Anyway, so we don't have kitten. Instead of kitten, we have item model, right? So we're gonna say, hey, item model, fine. Maybe their naming convention was good. Item might be okay. What the hell, man? Let's just change it to item. Unless you have a really good reason, don't go against the docs or convention generally. There's a reason that conventions exist. Oh my god, look at them. Now, let's do the full enchilada. Let's go here, going to drop this entire collection. Oh, that's not the collection, that's the group of collections. We're going to drop this entire collection. Yes, get out of here, you idiots. That's it. Let's refresh. There's nothing in there. We're going to go here, and we're going to post one. And we're going to post another one. And then we're going to go in here to our get client. We're going to get, oh my God, we got one with an ID. We've got another one. We are saving to the database. So that's pretty slick. There are a lot of ways that we can improve this, but that's not where we are right now. Also, if we had our linter up, we would see that this items, oh, also this was masked here. See, that's crazy, man. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we're not using that guy anymore. Right? So that was the array that we were putting stuff in memory. And now we're not. So good. Let's post one of those junky ones at it with all this crap in it. Oh man, it's so clean. Anyway, so that's it. So get status, get add. What did we do? We get. So we get commit. We return items from DB for get request. That's it, get push. Now, I believe that's all the time I have for now. So that was pretty good stuff. And I need to get like an intro and an outro and all that stuff, but you know, we're learning together. So now we have a really full stack app where we can post stuff in some other client. We can save it to the database and we can also retrieve them. So that's cool. Next, I don't know what's next. I think we're gonna get into some testing. I don't know. Anyway, let's end it there. Wait, I was pressing the wrong buttons last time. All right, let me stop. Still not doing it. Okay. I can't ever fucking tell. Is that option? I think that's option. All right, ready? Option, command.